Welcome to the Agent from Within podcast, the only podcast that's here to develop the real estate agent as a human being, to help you get out of your own way, to actually align yourself to what you really want in your life, and then build a real estate business around that. We have to focus on the person behind the strategies. Yes, this is going to be filled with tactics, business advice, amazing interviews. But if you're not in the right place mentally and emotionally, you will self-sabotage your business. You will chase, you will compare. This is about creating the best race car driver, not just the best race car. Any race car driver can jump into any car and win the race. We need to develop you as a human being. This is the only place that real estate agents can actually focus on growing yourself and growing your business. Cheers.
So when I was working on this session here, to be honest with you, it was a bit difficult because I have this thing that I think everyone wrestles with is you want to deliver value. The thing is though, in life, a lot of times we want to give what people are asking for. Or kind of what you think is expected. So when you talk about business planning, there's a lot of teaching out there. And the question is, in life, are we going to be able to speak our own truths, our own convictions? Are we going to be able to stand on our own opinions? And that's exactly what I'm going to do today. So this is the thing, guys. I've got a lot of thoughts, a lot of opinions around business planning. I've done fairly well in my life without having an absolutely defined plan. And every time I feel like a business plan, like there's guys that are just incredible at doing business plans, and it's not me. But there's so many different ways to move ahead, and a lot of times it's about who you are versus what you're doing. So I'm going to break down some stuff here. Let's just think about something. Let's say this is some of the issues I've got with business planning, okay? And we're going to get to a different way to business plan. I really think it's effective. It may fit everyone, may not, but this is what I know. And I don't want to talk about things I don't know. But this stuff I do know right now is really real to me. So if you think about it, the problem with business plans is you do this. It reminds me of saying like, hey, I'm overweight, I'm out of shape. Let's create a new plan. So what you do is you research, you create a plan, you set your goals. You're like, yep, 20 pounds by March 31st. Okay, let's work backwards. Here's how you do business planning. I want to make this much money. Let's work backwards. How many calls do I got to make? Where's the deals going to come through? Create this structure. It just reminds me of creating a workout plan. But 90% of people don't actually do the plan. So this is my issue. Guys, agent from within. I have to get real with what this is all about. Like I can sit down and just say strategy, strategy, strategy. But if I go back to the people that have had mega success that I've worked with, it's 99% who we are. It's a wrestle. To be honest, I wrestle with it because I know how to do marketing. I know how to do sales. I got a cool shit going on. I want to share that. But if we don't look at what we want in life, who we are, I can guarantee you we'll just create plans that are someone else's plans or maybe even heading in the wrong direction. And so if you think about working out, like how I've worked with people that have been overweight. I've been in mentoring groups with my mentor with many people that have been 30, 40 pounds overweight. What's absolutely insane is after a year of working on our personal mindset, aligning to what we truly want, speaking our truths, eliminating relationships that are hurting you, all of a sudden these people around me lost 20 pounds. When it was never a plan. So I think it reminds me, if you guys watched one of my marketing videos, it reminds me of my son as well. My son sucks at reading. He's like his dad. Like I read things backwards. My brain goes so fast to sit and read a book is hard. I'm not that guy. And my son is like that. And he went to school and his reading was behind. And his reading was behind because it just wasn't fitting him. And so what happened was the school brought in psychologists creating a plan, really dissecting exactly what needs to happen, giving techniques to actually moving. Remember the goal, when it's all about goal setting, it's like, I'm setting the goal to get my son to read better. So every night you need to practice. Let's get him a book that he's interested in. And let's do, they brought a psychologist in to analyze what exactly is going on with his reading, what's his disadvantages. We met with them, and they pretty much were saying that his intellectual level is lower than his other classmates. And I'm just like listening to all this stuff. But again, it was their way of getting to a goal. You know what happened though? He didn't grow. He incrementally, maybe just a little bit of growth. But what changed everything is one day the teacher calls me and says, "Hey, what are you doing with Rock?" I said, honestly, to be honest with you, I never read with him. I never did what they said to do because I'm like, I got to sit and read with mine. I can barely read myself. And so I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm just, help build confidence, I guess. Like, what happened was the teacher says to me, "What are you doing?" And she says, I said, "I don't know. The only thing is I've introduced him to playing hockey." And she goes, "That's it." He walks into class, his back's straighter, he believes in himself more, and his reading level went up 3 or 4 times. And I went, geez. Setting goals in a business plan is so good, guys. The thing is, though, I think it will get you incremental growth. But if you want to like double, triple, and really, really grow, you have to ask yourself who you are. You just have to. Like if you're an elephant and you're trying to figure out how to climb trees, that's going to be a sucky business plan. Like no matter what you do, it's going to be hard. But if it's an elephant and it's saying how to bring water somewhere with your trunk, well, it's going to be way easier. But so we've got to remember who we are. This is business. This is agent from within. Okay. So the guys that stick around with me, the guys that are interested in this kind of stuff, this is what we need to talk about. Elephant climbing trees. Love it. Corey. So this is what I want to talk about. Guys, anyone that's attended my workshops or have coached with me, and anyone that's going to be going to some of my events, I talk about the authenticity and self-awareness. There was a study done. I'll just do a quick little rundown for the guys that don't know. There was a study done. I did an interview with Jay Niblick on my podcast. You guys can jump on it and watch it. At the end of the day, he studied, I don't know what it was, hundreds of thousands of people for 7 years using psychometric psychology, doing all these different things to find out what drives hyper successful people. And what they found after all this study was they broke out the different people into different money categories. And the category that was at the top was anyone with 200 million plus. 200 million plus is a lot of freaking money. Like I've had millions go through my hand. It's really not much. Like once you play with that, it's not much. Money comes and goes, taxes and expenses, and like 100 million, that's another game. And there was only 2 common threads, and it was authenticity and self-awareness. The only 2 things that were common. It wasn't a good business plan. It wasn't a real estate or business. It wasn't anything organized, hustle. It wasn't like anything. It was all people that they were authentic and they were self-aware. So we have to ask ourselves, why? Why does that work? Well, if I can become self-aware, like for example, let's just say, and there's so many examples, guys. Let's just say I was not a good singer. I'm not but I thought I was. So I'm going to say, hey, I'll sing. I'll enter competitions, but you never win. It's always a struggle. Well, the reality was you got to come to terms. You suck at singing. And now you can now direct your life differently. So I'm like absolutely all in, completely obsessed with self-awareness. Now, the next step is, can you be that person who you really are? Now, what happens in my life, guys, and anyone goes like, hey, I swear a bit, I know who I am. That's why I start this call going, I'm not the guy to build your business plan, but I am the guy to show you who you are. So when you do go forward, you're going to fit. And just maybe you can go double and triple your performance by knowing who you are. So I'm kind of the back door to success. So if you want to, I'm telling you, you should not pay for anything like that, because anything like that structured, you go online, you buy it, or you can get it for free. There's 50 different ways. I'm just going to do Ben's version and how to do, like, set your goals, divide them into 5 steps, divide them into how you're going to do that. I get that. But no one ever follows through. Very few people actually get it done. That's why it frustrates me. So I know who I am, and that's my mission in life. The more you can know who you are, you know, kind of a team leader I am, because I know who I am. Do you know how I don't react as much as ever before in my life when someone calls me arrogant or pushes my buttons? Very little. I used to be very reactive, but I know who I am. Yeah, I know who I am. Hey, Ben, you know, there goes a spelling error again. Yeah, I know. It's frustrating. I've proofread it 5 times, guys. That's who I am. If you can't deal with that, that's your deal, because I know who I am. I know my strengths. When you're in a relationship, guys, and you're sitting there and you guys are like, this is massive. When you're in a relationship, again, TikTok's relationship is business, by the way. So I'm a relationship coach. That's literally what I am. I just happen to be great at marketing and sales and some business stuff. At the end of the day, when you're having a relationship and you have self-awareness, it becomes so smooth. People can talk to you. So here's the thing. What I want to do is this. Okay, guys, so here's the thing. The one thing is this. If I was to jump right into saying, hey, what's your financial goal? Let's start with that. The problem with that is it's when you have a financial goal as your main goal, you'll get that, but I'm just worried that we go the wrong direction in life. I remember when I was young, I was younger, and I started investing in real estate. And I'm a crazy guy. Like, I have a hard time doing anything small. Again, self-aware. So I know when I start something, I got to be careful, because I know I'm going to probably take it really big. So I have a tendency to do that. But understanding who I am helps me navigate that. But back then, I just thought, I want to be so friggin' filthy rich. I felt like money was the pathway to freedom. And in a way it is. But I really, really invested going. I even sat with my wife back in the day and said, hey, give me 5 years, I'll set us up. And it was kind of like our deal when we got married. I'm like, you watch me, I'm going to kill it. And in a weird way I did. James will start video. Okay. So what happened was I started a company. First of all, I went into sales, and I just killed the sales. I went into I made $140,000 or $60,000 selling desks at early 20s. And then what happened was I jumped ship really fast so I could chase money again. And I found Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I went through that process of going, oh man, this is crazy. I started buying real estate investments. And then when I thought, I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to jump to this, I bought 41 properties in 15 months with it was insane, guys. I ended up with 61 hold properties and a bunch more transactions I did. But you know what? I hit a crash, which is the best things ever happened to me. Investors didn't want to invest. And I had to navigate that. I've got that on my friggin' belt, that I went through that. The thing is, though, my only goal was money. So I wanted 61 properties. I wanted 100. It was the dumbest thing ever. Why do I want 100 properties? I don't know. Financial freedom. I have no clue what I was wanting. I just wanted to be rich, until one day I started self-reflecting, because obviously when the pain is enough, you do that. And when my investors say they want their property sold and I can't sell their properties, and I invested in that, promised things I couldn't follow through on, and I was very insecure, built everything I did on performance versus being confident with who I am. It was so easy to control me, because all they would have to say is, Ben, you're not doing a good job. Oh, no, let's step it up. Because I always want to blow their mind. I want to do well. But when the times, it just crushed me. It challenged everything inside me. So I had to reflect, because I thought I was killing it all the time, because I was. So I ended up meeting my business coach, and he asked me one question. I came to his meeting, and he goes, what do you want? I said, I want 1,000 properties. That was my goal. Like, if we just started doing a goal setting session, that's the goal I would have brought to the table. Or 100 properties. I want to have 1,000 properties. This is what I see real estate agents doing all the time. And so what happened was, he goes, okay, great. So are you happy? And I'm like, I had never been asked that question. It's pretty mainstream now, but he goes, are you happy? And I looked at it and I went, I'll be happy when I have enough money coming in to live the life that I want passively. And so what I did was it was just this weird goal, and he challenged me hard. And I realized what makes me happy was my family, my kids. And those are the two things I was just killing. I was gone all the time. I was angry. I was under pressure all the time. And so what I'm saying is, this is why it's hard for me to lead a business planning session, because I was that high performer. I still am, but I'm going in a direction that absolutely is the right direction for me. So let's talk about setting the right direction. Just one more story is I had a lady I mentored for a whole year, one-to-one. Her name was Sonia. She was a real estate agent. When she started, I actually got it all on video. We documented the whole thing. And she says, I go, what's your goal? She goes, $500,000, $500,000. And she was like a $60,000 real estate agent. I said, whoa, like, where's it? I look at her in the eyes and I'm going, this is not an authentic goal. It's like, what is this goal? So I said, $500,000. By the end of the mentoring, she had changed it to say, I just want to have a life that can, because her husband worked. She really wanted to be a mom. She wanted to take care of her kids. Now she makes, I don't know, $120,000 a year, but she's like, you should see her. Her hair color's different. She's transformed from a confidence perspective. Her life is more fulfilled than she's ever had. She worked with the same relationship coach I did. I connected her with that. And at the end of the day, she's living a life that's way more authentic. She's super happy. But at that $500,000 goal, if we would have attacked that, we would have sent her into a way different life. I got 20 stories like this, guys. And I'm bucking the trend about goal setting, especially now. Everything's goal setting. Now, here's the thing, guys. Some of the stuff I think about is this. Instead of picking like, here's the goals that we want to do, just imagine maybe a little more top level, okay? Imagine shifting 1 to 3 things in our life. Like, what if it was something where it's more themed versus every hyper detailed? Like, what if we shifted 1 to 3 things in our life, in our business? What if at the end of let's say end of like 2020, we look back and like, man, I implemented like 4 great follow-up systems. Like, what if we played the 10-year game? Why does it have to be in 1 year? Just look a little bit farther, guys. And so what I like to do is, first of all, I'd like to figure out, well, who I am, though. This is the big thing. So guess what? There's a couple of things. I'm going to share my screen with you. I'm going to show you a little thing called perceiving type personality types and judging personality types. Some of you guys have gone a little bit through this with me. This is a really good thing to go through again. So I'm going to go through this because here's the issue. You share my screen here. Boom. Okay. Come on. Okay. Everyone see that? So here's the thing, guys. When you're thinking about being a team lead, when you're thinking about being in any relationships, being on a team, listen to anybody's advice, you have to say, who am I and does this advice fit me? So when you're thinking about business planning, it directly triggers the JP dichotomy in who we are. So some of you guys aren't going to know context. There's 16 personality types. This is just one section, okay? I go through the whole thing at my events. Now, and I also do full seminars on this stuff. So how we organize our environment, how we plan and complete tasks. So there's 2 completely different functions to a human being. So if you go to a business planning workshop, there's no context on, hey, you should do your planning this way and you should do your planning that way. This is the biggest miss in all coaching, all leadership, is they say, this is how you do it. But there's 16 personality types, guys. So there's going to be a way to do things that fit you so good. So we have to bring this into our conversation today. I'm just going to skip a bunch of this stuff. So this is kind of a quick little look at how J personality types, so forget the word judging. It's a bad word because you're going to relate to that personality, but you're like, I'm not judging. It's just a dumb word. It's just a category. So J and P. The J personality, I go through this section here at my workshop takes at least 30 minutes. I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to quick summarize to get to a point on planning. The J personality loves that targeted set plan. They stick to the plan. They don't budge from the plan. They leave lots of room at the end to accomplish their tasks. If you created a J style plan for a perceiving type, the perceiving type will instantly rebel and fight that plan. So what's crazy is this: as a perceiving type, you need to overcommit so you can live in crunch time. So as a perceiving type, this is self-aware. This is Ben. You want to see what I've got on my plate? That's how I turn my high performance on. If you want to see me slow down, I'll be letting go of a couple things because I need to slow down. Because if I don't have a lot on my plate, I usually don't do much. That's because I know I'm a perceiving type. So when you have a rushed, cramming style deadline, and you love that, and that's your best place to perform and get stuff done, you're a perceiving type. But if that cramming stresses you the hell out, and you're like, are you crazy? You don't have to cram. You just need to plan a little bit better. You're probably a J type. So J-type want clear goals, makes plans and follows them, develops schedules and timeframes. They drive to wrap things up. Perceiving people see goals as moving targets. So how would you do a business plan if it's a moving target? Want flexible plans. They want options. Follow general parameters and timeframes. Wait for the decision to emerge. More of an unfolding type of business plan. J people like to make plans and follow them, like to get things settled and finished. Like environments and structured clear limits. Enjoy being decisive and organizing others. Handle deadlines and time limits comfortably. Plan ahead to avoid last minute rushes. Like rapidly getting to the bottom line and deciding. Guys, can you understand this in sales too? You're dealing with a J type. They're going to want to just get the sale done. Then, yep, this is good. Let's go. Perceiving types never make decisions. They want to leave options. Dislike being interrupted on a project, even for a more urgent one. What's funny is I have a guy on my team that's like this. He's the only guy that says, like, we're in the middle of a conversation, Ben, I've actually got to get something done here. I'm like, oh, okay. But I understand he's a J, and I interrupted him with my conversation. No matter how powerful or how motivating or how important that conversation is, his mind is going to the task that he was working on. So I know how to lead him. I say, when's the best time I can get 5 or 10 minutes from you to talk? Guys, think about your personal relationships on this too. May make decisions too quickly or cling to a plan. Clinging to a plan is really big deal for these guys. May not notice new things that can be done. So the evolution process of a J is way harder than a perceiving type. May seem rigid, demanding, and inflexible to perceiving types, but they need to be balanced by their other part of their personality because everyone has the J and the P. One is just more preferred. One is just more natural. The perceiving type like to respond resourcefully to changing situations, like to leave things open, gather more information, like environments that are flexible, dislike rules and limits, may not like making decisions even when pressed, tend to think there's plenty of time to do things. Often have to rush to complete things at the last minute. The problem is, I know I used to judge myself because I was doing that instead of embracing that technique. Is that at the end, I plow through shit ton of stuff because I'm in that power zone. You just can't live there all the time. You'll burn out. Want to explore all the options before deciding. May start too many projects and have difficult finishing them. Do you understand? There's the problem right there, guys. There's the problem with business plans, okay? For perceiving types. May start too many projects and have a difficult time finishing them. That's why planning is too extensive planning for perceiving types, because starting stuff is so fun and new, finishing is not. So the plan is very tricky to accomplish. May have trouble making decisions or have no plan. May spontaneously change plans. May seem disorganized and irresponsible to J types. Need judging for balance. Just want to see here. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen. So, do you understand how important it is to know self-awareness and understand human beings before you actually make a plan, before you give people advice? Like, that's just one dynamic, guys. I'm like a friggin' person whisperer because I know this shit. That's why when I speak at a presentation, everyone gets something because I know how to speak to every single person. I know how they receive things. I know that. And it's just like speaking a language. So what I'm saying is I use that and I go, how would we business plan for a J? How would we business plan for a P? Completely different function. I want to just put that on the table that we need context that who we are and how's it going to fit me and how's it going to fit you. So the first step is we need to point in the right direction. We just got to point in the right direction. We got to go, what do I want? I think some people are real estate agents. They should quit being a realtor. That's probably the best move some people have. And I've coached a lady. She's such a great girl. She worked with me for almost 2-3 years. She ended up, we created a business model where she joined a team so she could leave 6 months of the year and travel the world and blog. So we just used more of a business strategy coaching. At the end of the day, she never did want to be a real estate agent. She did all the stuff I told her. She found success, but she did not find happiness. She did not find happiness. And so we shifted it. We said, okay, let's use real estate to get what you want. What do you want? And that was like 6 months of conversation. What do you want? What do you want? Now we've built a system where she's got a license. She's tied to a team as a synergy partner, not an actual team member. So all her deals get taken care of while she's gone. When she comes back, she does 50-50 splits with them. But she built a life. That's my thing. That's what I like. So I'm going to show you, like, oh, I got some chats going on here. Just let me see what's going on. Right. Those little dictators change the game. Dictators. Used to be a J until having kids. Lots of that. That's great. Let's see. Can you guys see all the chats too? Okay. I'm just catching up then. Okay. Oh, Steve, you got to get out of here? Yeah, no problem, man. We're going to talk about you as soon as you leave. No. Just joking. Okay, here's the thing, guys. I'm going to show you something I've developed because I think this. If anyone's watching my social media or whatever, I've been gone for a couple of days. I took off. I wanted to self-reflect. And I think, guys, getting out of the city is really important. Really important. I want to just challenge people's relationships with their loved ones. Because if you can't leave for 2 days to self-reflect, I believe the relationship has a controlling element to it, and they're selfish. It used to be like that with Renee and I a lot. Like I'd take off and I'd have guilt for leaving, and she would be a little bit resentful for leaving her. Okay, well that there is completely dysfunctional. Where it was this time was this, and this is years of struggle, guys. This time I said, I'm going to go meet a guy down in Calgary. I want to chat with him about my business. He's a high-level business coach. And I said, I want to just self-reflect and kind of just get it down there. So I'm driving to Calgary, and Renee calls me and goes, Ben, I'm so excited for you. This is so great that you're going to do this. I know how much this means. I know how much this needs. I'm like, yes, now that's cool. It's not been like that all my life. So I want to challenge you guys to take a day or two. Get the heck out of town for real. And if your loved one doesn't like it, I say deal with it. There has to be some kind of relationship adjustment if you can't leave to go check in on who you are, what you're about, and it's the most unselfish thing you can do is leave and go do this. So guys, here's what I came up with is this. I have 30 questions for you to do. And here's the thing. If you don't do them, it's your deal. Like, I'm not here to babysit. I'm here to, if you guys need me, if you guys take this, that's great. Some stuff's going to fit. Some stuff's not even going to fit. But here's the thing. I'm going to show you what I've come up with. Because I think self-reflection should be more the goal than actually the business plan, to be honest. Now, where is it here? Just give me 1 second, guys. I just got to double check here. Okay. Okay, share screen. There it is. I'm going to send this to you guys after. Okay. So guys, I came up with 30 questions to do some self-discovery over the Christmas holidays. before you start creating an insane plan, I challenge you just to ask yourself some questions and ponder. Shut your phone off, connect, maybe meditate, pray, or whatever you do to get out of your head. I personally would think a bit of exercise, but getting out into the wild, to the wilderness, maybe do something on those lines. I really think this is going to pay you guys dividends. I'm going to walk through every single question today, okay? Just because I want you guys to hear this, and then also I'm going to send this to you. But what you can do is literally, like, doing it here is, if you do it on this platform, I'll be able to review it. No one else is going to see it. It's private. And I will review every single person that sends this in so I can understand where you're at, so I can do better coaching and I can help you reach your goals. If you don't want to share it with anyone, write down all 30 of these things, get a notepad and a pencil, and just go to the woods or whatever and seriously reflect. Now, here's what it is. Okay, what worked for you in 2018? What didn't work for you in 2018? What do you love doing in your business? What do you dislike doing in your business? Where do you find meaning outside of your family? On a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you? How much money do you need? What would you spend your money on if you had way more than you needed? The more detailed, the better. Do you love 100% of the relationships you are in? If not, please explain. What is the one relationship you are totally okay without? What is missing in your life? What is one conversation you are avoiding? With who is that conversation, and what topic would that be? This doesn't mean you're going to have to take action. This is a self-awareness exercise guide. It's a place to take a second and get your brain to work with you to explore who you are. What's holding you back? We all have a glass ceiling, and let's figure out what it is. How does the fear of rejection play into your business? What is one thing you would like to learn this year? What are 2 systems you would like to implement this year? What would 3 small wins look like this year? What would a big win look like? What would it look like to grow personally this year? What do you look like in a life under pressure versus no pressure? What's that contrast? On a scale of 1 to 10, how much pressure are you under? As we know from the last call, there was like one guy that wasn't pressurized and the rest was 8, 9s, and 10s. So where's that pressure coming from? What is your greatest win last year? What was one relationship that improved and how? Rate your conversation in your head. 1 is weakens you. 10, it strengthens you. What advice would you give your 5 years ago self? List 5 incredible things about yourself and explain what did you learn from this exploration exercise. And we have some duplicates here. Sorry, guys, we'll delete those. Oh, stop sharing. So guys, it's quite a project. But this is some of the biggest shifts and wins I can promise you that you will ever have if you take that time. We don't ever stop and actually think. I used to go away 3 times a year and do this kind of stuff, guys. Maybe someday we'll implement that in this kind of program where we all meet 2 or 3 times a year in a cool location just to self-reflect. I paid 15 grand a year to do that, and it's changed my entire life. This is what I wanted to bring to the table today, is that I wanted to show you guys self-reflection, who you are, so you can set the right direction. And I can promise you, just like my son, just like these people that do these things that want to lose weight, the plan is not what actually gets it done. The internal shift is what gets everything done. Because then things are easy. Like the guys that do the self-reflective work, all of a sudden it's super motivated to go to the gym. Rather than trying to motivate yourself to go to the gym, find out what that glass ceiling is that's stopping you, remove the glass ceiling, boom, now you're motivated. See, the problem is we're doing things we don't like to do. That's why we need these heavy duty goals. So I think let's try to make some alignment changes. Let's try to make it more authentic before we just get into some heavy goal setting. Guys, I went to a business planning seminar because my broker asked me to go, and I said, okay, I'll go. And I'm telling you, it was very good. But the problem was it started with a $2.8 million goal this person wanted to do, which might be obtainable for her, but I didn't see any other goals. It was a financial budget, and it was the system that you break down all your activities to find out what it takes to get to 2.8 million. But I'm just thinking, how'd she get that number? Is that what it takes to get the life she really wants? Like, how much money do you need to get the life you really want? Like, different questions, guys. We don't challenge the question. So all I'm saying is when you hear stuff, go, oh yeah, that's so great. Challenge it. Does it fit me? Do I like what Ben's saying? Great. Is it for me? Challenge me. Because then you end up thinking for yourself. And then you actually can move forward.